El presente indicativo de verbos regulares. We're going to talk about the present indicative. The present indicative indicates things as they are in the present tense. Let's look at this page about Mario. Mario es un estudiante de Derecho. ¿Qué hace todos los días? Notice that first we mention Mario here, but then he is never mentioned again. Okay, don't forget that Spanish can do that. We can leave out the pronoun, we can leave out the noun. Llega, trabaja, lee, come, habla, espera, regresa. Just by looking at those endings, we know that we are talking about someone in the third person singular. In this case, we are thinking either Mario or we're thinking él. Mario llega, él llega. Mario lee, él lee. Mario habla, él habla, etc. Okay, so we're looking at AR, ER, IR verbs. We are looking first at the infinitives, the dictionary forms. The English infinitives have two when we're talking about grammar, but when we're looking at the dictionary, they're not going to have two in front of them. Just have, be, speak. But grammar-wise, these are the infinitives. Okay, you notice how big this list is, or it's much bigger than this one or this one. That's because the most frequent verb ending we have in Spanish is AR. The next most frequent one is ER, and the last one is IR. That's just how it happens to be. And let's look at a couple of them, a couple examples of each, and talk about how to conjugate them. Okay. It's mentioned here, but let's take it step by step. Hablar, an AR verb. You're going to drop the AR and add the endings. Let's go ahead and put it 6 times first. On this side, we're going to have singular. And on this side, we're going to have plural. Oops. And we're not going to do vosotros. Okay, singular. Yo hablo. Tú hablas. Él, ella, usted habla. Nosotros hablamos. Ellos hablan. Okay, let me highlight the endings for you. So this is an AR verb. The vowel that you should see most often is A. Okay, that's for an AR verb. You see it everywhere except for the yo form. Okay, it's not hablao, hablo. Then another thing you should notice is the S here, the mos here, the N here, and usually this one. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit less reliable, but this is what we're doing. In the present tense, and in many tenses, usually when you see S, every time in the present, that's going to be for tú. Okay, that's every time in the present, and for almost every Spanish tense. There's just one tense that does not have S at the end. Every single Spanish tense that has mos at the end is nosotros. Every single Spanish tense that has hablan at the end is ellos, ellas, o ustedes. Do a shorthand like this. Okay. And in the present tense, most forms of yo have an o at the end. There are maybe 3 or 4 exceptions, but most of them have just o. The exceptions will have y or something else at the end. Okay, so already really you can memorize quite easily at least 4 of the different pronouns. Okay, and this one is one that will vary a little bit, but even then not too much. It's going to be either a or, as we'll see soon, e. Okay. Let me write all the people here. Yo hablo, tú hablas. Él, with an accent. Ella, usted, habla. Okay. Now, let's look at comer. So the same thing here. We're going to take off ER. Okay. And let me write just com first. Okay. And then this is going to have the same yo ending that most verbs have, como. Now we're going to see the E more here. Comes, this is an ER verb. Come, comemos, comen. Okay, so let me highlight that. These endings. You'll see that the endings mostly correspond with these endings, the exception being the actual vowel that's highlighted throughout, or that's used throughout. So here you have A, here you have E. Okay. And then let's do vivir. Vivir, to live. Okay. Same thing, you cross out the ending, IR, and oops, don't cross out that. I'm going to take this, present this a little bit differently. Okay, and ask you to predict the endings. So the ending for that would be O. Okay. Now here, let me do it like this. And you should already know that for tu, every form of tu in the present has S at the end. Okay. Every form of nosotros in any tense has mos at the end. Any form of ellos, ellas, ustedes in any tense has N at the end. Now we just need to supply the correct vowel, or in the case of IR verbs, vowels. IR verbs are going to be very similar to ER verbs, except for one person. So let's see. Tú vives. Él, ella, usted vive. So far they're the same. Well, I'm right here, so I'll do this one. Viven. Okay, so there's only one that's different, and it's the nosotros form. Vivimos. And, well, actually, if you do vosotros, you'll see that that's different as well. Vivís. Okay? The I will come up right here and right here. Okay? But otherwise, IR verbs look just like ER verbs. Okay? And what do they mean? How do we use the present indicative? Mario lee en la biblioteca. Mario reads in the library. That could also be translated as Mario is reading in the library. Or if we put something like mañana, Mario will read in the library tomorrow. That would be the best way to convey the meaning of the sentence, but in reality, it's like saying Mario reads in the library tomorrow, or Mario is reading in the library tomorrow. In Spanish, this can convey a lot of meaning, like reads, is reading, will read. Another thing it can convey that's not listed here is do read. For example, tú no lees alemán. You don't read German. But your friend lived in Germany for 5 years, and your friend studied the language very well. Your friend would say, sí, yo leo alemán. Okay. Yes, I do read German. That would be how you would translate it. I do read German. Okay, so that's one more meaning that can be assigned to the Spanish present indicative.